All this great equipment. So, we're trying this again. We already made one video that was about 15 minutes long and we didn't hit the record button. So,
in all fairness, I did press the record button, but the remote had a separate battery in it that we didn't realize.
Yeah, we're not tech savvy yet. We're literally having a laptop in front of us. We're going to have to try and edit all this stuff, which we don't know what to do. So, we don't have a name for our podcast. We're just two dudes who love God and Jesus, and we are trying to spread the word of the gospel through YouTube videos.
So, I'm Josh.
I'm Steve.
And give you a little background. Steve and I have known each other for about 25 years now. We were in the Marines together, and he got transferred into my platoon. I want to say we were about 20 years old, 21 years old. That just dated us. But so he got transferred into our platoon. Turns out, I lived in Tucson prior to the Marines. He lived in Phoenix. We met each other the first day and started talking, and that's how we met. So we've known each other for a long time. We've been friends, and we both love the Lord. Just really want any opportunity to spread the word, to spread the good news. So we hope we're able to make some people laugh. We hope people enjoy this, and we can somehow get some of it across and make an impact on even one person. I'll be happy. But yeah.
If you like what we're doing, start following us, start reaching out to us in the comments. You can, we're going to be out there for people to talk to them. If you have questions about what we're talking about, if you just need somebody in general, I think that you'll find that the more you get to know who we are, you're going to see that God's working through us in a way that it's not a church. It's not, we're not pastors. We're driven just by what God is moving through us, and we're seeing it daily. We used to think things were circumstantial and just happened by, this is crazy. This was a coincidence.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see, the more we're noticing God working in our lives, he's changing things for us in ways that I couldn't believe my life's changed already. I'm sure Josh is told the same way.
Yeah, definitely. Like Steve said, not saying we're pastors. We're not saying we're preachers, not prophets. We are just here to try to spread the word. And so we're going to watch videos. We're going to comment on them. We're going to have fun. We're going to hopefully get into discussions based on the videos. And like Steve said, make comments. We'll happily reply to anybody and hopefully get into into discussions through those topics. And should we get into the video?
Roll.
I think
our
original intro was way back, but now we've already done it once. So.
And our first video is about The Chosen and some strong opinions about The Chosen. So here we go.
The Chosen is probably the biggest faith-based series ever made. When I first got saved, there wasn't a whole lot of good Christian media to watch. And unfortunately, there still isn't. I was put off by watching The Chosen at first because it's under Angel Studios, which is owned by Project. So, yeah. However, like I said, there's not a whole lot of good, well-filmed Christian content to watch. And people kept suggesting that I watch The Chosen. So, eventually I gave in, and I'm not going to lie to y'all, it was really good at first. There are some very, very beautiful and powerful scenes in the show. I got very emotional more than once watching it. But there were little red flags that kept popping up in the show, but I just ignored them because I wanted to be entertained more than I wanted to be closer to God. And after a minute, The Chosen accomplished what should be its one and only mission. It made me want to read the Bible more, and I did. And around that time, Season 3 was airing. And of course, the iconic line was said. Moses. Now, when I first saw that scene, I was hyped. It was a powerful scene. But after I came down from that hype, something felt off. I did not remember seeing that line in the Bible that I was reading. So my sister and I did some digging, and it didn't take us long to find out that the line was from the Book of Mormon. Well, it was a good run. But after that, I
didn't know that, did you?
Then
No.
after that, the whole pride flag thing happened. I feel like that was God telling me I made the right decision. And there's other issues I have with the show, like Matthew being on the spectrum for no reason, Jesus asking the disciples for their opinion on his sermon, John the Baptist talking like a TikTok influencer, stuff like that. Also, the show didn't cover Jesus getting baptized or getting tempted in the wilderness. Two very, very, very important events in Jesus' life. Why is that? Now, look, there's things I liked about the show. Seeing Jesus make jokes and have fun with friends and family was good to see, because I'm sure he did stuff like that. However, the bad outweighs the good, in my opinion. It feels like they're trying to make Jesus too human, and that's very dangerous. And to be completely honest with you guys, I'd rather not watch a show where I have to be constantly on my guard because they might misrepresent my Lord and Savior at any given moment. Y'all got that. That's why if someone came to me and said they wanted me to make a show about Jesus, I decline, because there's far, far, far too much pressure that comes into making the show about Jesus' life. And I feel like the people that are behind this show don't take that seriously enough. So ultimately, my reasoning for not watching The Chosen is very simple. The Jesus that's in The Chosen is not the same Jesus that I know and love. Because while I love film, I love Jesus a whole lot more.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot in 3 minutes right there. You told me. So just to give you a little background on what we're doing here. So Steve is going to be picking out videos, and he wants me to watch these videos. And so any video that we're viewing on this show, I have not seen, and Steve already has seen. And so it's kind of to see the reaction, my initial thoughts on these when he already has his thoughts, and kind of see if we end up agreeing, see if we disagree, see where it goes. And yeah, so that one, when you told me we were watching something on The Chosen where they were against it, going into this, I had a preconceived notion that I was not going to agree with most of what they said.
Okay.
But he actually had some pretty good points in there. I did not know that Angel Studio was owned by Mormons. That's new to me. And I also did not know that line was from the Book of Mormon, to be honest.
If it is.
If it is, we don't know.
Like,
right?
disclaimer, like, we are not here to offend anybody. We're just giving our views on things. So anything political, anything like that, we're not trying to be of that nature, but we have strong opinions. So if you're offended by it, we apologize. We're definitely not trying to call anybody out or single anybody out in any kind of way. So Mormons, if you're watching, if you can point out, let us know. Like, if there's something in there, like, we'd like to know that too.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't personally remember that line from the show. I don't watch the show as scripture.
When he went back home.
What's that?
When he went back home. And he's preaching in the synagogue.
Okay.
And then he starts changing the words to saying basically it's happening, the things in the book that he was reading from.
Okay.
He starts to say it. He's like, you're violating the laws. He's like, I am the law. It's like, okay. So that's the big scene. They take him out to go toss him off the cliff, and he's like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be fine. And they don't hurt him. Like they were gonna kill him.
So you were raised in a Mormon family,
right?
So you don't know anything about the Book of Mormon.
Anything?
I don't know what's different with the Book of Mormon versus the regular Bible or any of it. So
we could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to research.
So let me ask you, like, where in your, because for me, I think the audience that's watching us doesn't know, we both kind of started our faith journey through The Chosen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say I started my faith journey, but it was around that time, and it definitely gave me a great feeling.
Yeah,
I loved watching it. You know, I think it was 2 seasons in when I started watching it, and you know, I've looked forward to each season, and overall I think the show's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good for people. I'm not going to ever take a show. I'm not going to ever take something that is produced in a studio, watch it, and consider it to be the Bible.
Right.
I'm
not a substitute for
the
Bible.
Exactly. But the fact that it can bring people to the Bible,
for me,
yeah,
the book's always better than the movie.
Like,
kind of reference.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, when I started reading the New Testament after watching The Chosen, it brought it to life in a way.
Yeah.
Where I watched, like Josh was saying, we kind of caught it when it already had a few seasons in. So I watched it. I was having a bad night, and my wife was like, we should watch that show. And I'm always like, I do not want to watch Christian movies, Christian shows, Christian anything. Even at being a Christian, I didn't want to watch that. I'd rather watch other content or other shows. And that night, something came over me and was like, let's watch your show. And by the end of the first episode, I'm crying. And I'm like, she's like, well, it's time to go to bed now. And I'm like, driven to start. I started watching all the episodes, and then it wasn't enough for me. I wanted to start knowing like the Bible in depth. So it got me reading the Bible for the first time, which I had never done. Just sat down and read it.
Yeah.
And I got through it in a year. And then I did it a second time, and now I'm on the third run of the Bible, and I'm not doing it in any order. I'm just kind of choosing what I want to read again, and I go from the New Testament to the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And I just jump around whatever God's calling me to read at the moment.
Yeah. We'll probably get into like our actual testimonies in a different episode. I don't think we're going to go into that today. Just not time. And to be honest, we're just kind of practicing today. If this makes it onto YouTube, this makes it onto YouTube.
Could be a blooper reel.
Yeah, more of a blooper reel than anything. But yeah, we'll actually get into our testimonies another day. But for me, I don't think The Chosen drove me to read the Bible. It was more what my story. I feel like God made me start reading the Bible.
Yeah. You want to hear something ironic?
What?
Is that one of the first religious questions I asked you, and I don't know, you have different memories, so
Yeah.
you sometimes remember things, sometimes you don't. I knew we talked about our faith in the Marine Corps, but that's like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I knew you said you did have faith.
Yep.
And so we're at church, and me growing up Mormon, they believe the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are separate. They're not all in one.
Okay.
And don't quote me on any of this stuff. I'm not trying to say I know everything about it, but I grew up believing that they were separatized to me. So like I grew up never praying to Jesus.
Yeah.
I always prayed to God.
Okay.
And so it wasn't that Jesus was diminished or not as important, but I remember going to the church I go to now and them saying it's all inclusive, the Holy Spirit, God, and Jesus. And my brain is like, no, I can't handle this. How is it 3 in 1? And I still don't quite understand it.
Yeah.
I think I've got a better understanding of it now than I ever did, but it's still complicated.
Yeah.
And I called you and asked you, and you said, I don't remember your answer, but we just had a conversation about it. Well, that's the first question I asked you, and it was out of the blue.
Yeah.
And you probably were like, what are you doing? Because there was no context.
Yeah. Okay.
I was asking you, like, with your faith, what you believe in, and you shared your answer with me. And I obviously felt comfortable with you, which was kind of the start of how this all started for me, was like knowing you had faith and then seeing where the world was leading.
Yeah.
And The Chosen for me was like this break from it all, where I was like,
that's a good word for it. It was a break from the world. It was nice to actually see clean, good, wholesome content on television. And of course, he pointed out, why did they make Matthew seem like he's autistic and whatever. I don't think that was to fit with the narratives that shows have nowadays. It's Matthew was clearly reading the book of Matthew very, very detail oriented and
tax collector.
He was that type of mind. And so when you watch the show, I mean, maybe there's slight hints of him seeming autistic, but I don't know. I don't think
it's the detail to what he adds to the Bible.
Yeah.
Like he adds things in a way, even just starting off his gospel as opposed to like the other ones. Like he goes through and lists every single relative of Jesus to get to him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of impressive to see where the Bible starts and where it leads to Jesus.
And extremely important.
100%. Yeah. And so I think that the things that they're displaying it, I mean, I don't know the answer to that either, but to me, if I can show somebody a show and have them be able to digest it in a way that's not meant to offend and a way that's going to be entertaining.
Yeah.
And you can get your foot in the door that way. I think it's the best way to go. It's the same with some churches. Like some churches you walk in and you're going to be like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to come back here again. And there are some churches that are probably too easy.
Yeah.
And like that middle ground, I think The Chosen rides that.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a show, at least.
It does. And personally, for me, I think what I liked best about The Chosen is it's kind of funny. He showed me a different video that we recorded on this first take. The first video was actually it was like the devil with a classroom of little devil students, and they were talking about The Chosen in it, and they like couldn't help themselves but to compliment it. And I think it was probably a commercial made for The Chosen, but it was pretty funny. Anyways, they mentioned in that like it's making them out to be real people. And to me, I think that was probably the best part about The Chosen and why I am okay with it. Because if someone who knows nothing about God, who knows nothing about Jesus, can turn it on and they can start watching it and they can relate to characters and they can relate to the fact that, yes, this might have been written 2,000 years ago. Jesus might have lived 2,000 years ago, but people were real people then. They weren't just words on paper. They lived their daily lives. They had their, marriage dramas. They had their, whatever issues going on in their lives that they had to live through. So that's what I actually like best about it, I think.
Perfect. Let's
tell you a little of myself. So I personally, I don't watch the news. I'm not on social media. I'm in the world in the way that, like I go to work, I go to my restaurants, I hang out with people. I'm in the world that way, but I try not to actually even include myself anymore in the news and social media and any of that. I really do not like the agendas of the world. So I'm only saying this because you mentioned the Sydney Sweeney thing, and I literally heard like a very minute thing about what.
So what do you know about her?
I know who Sydney Sweeney is as an actress. I know that there's some issue with a commercial that says she has good genes. Okay, that is literally what I know.
Okay, so we're gonna watch the short video of that. It's 2 minutes long, and then there's a follow-up video, and I think we'll pause it after this video, and then we'll set it up for next.
Okay, perfect.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
Sydney Sweeney being sultry in a jeans ad.
Okay, this video talks about. Okay.
Americans could come together on. But the new campaign from American Eagle, starring the blonde-haired, blue-eyed beauty, has sent the woke mob into a meltdown, in part thanks to the tagline, which riffs off denim jeans and a person's genetics. This punny play on words was enough to trigger the woke mob, with many on the left interpreting it as a nod to eugenics, some going so far as to outright call it Nazi propaganda. Following the backlash, the Sydney Sweeney fan account that originally posted the provocative commercial went private on July 27th. However, other versions of the sexy spots are still circulating, including this one with a Mustang, and a longer version where Sid tells the audience she's not going to tell them to buy American Eagle.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
You see what I did there, right?
Across social media, many were shocked to see that leftists were freaking out about this. Meanwhile, journalist Robbie Suave called the manufactured outrage quite possibly the stupidest, most likely to backfire, liberal overreach social media pylon in the history of the internet. At the age of 27, Sydney Sweeney has become a major Hollywood player, starring opposite Glenn Powell in the hit rom-com Anyone But You. She later admitted to letting the affair rumors fly between them to sell movie tickets. Clearly, she's not afraid to court controversy, and these American Eagle ads could be further proof. The campaign also features her real-life dog, Sully Bear. Just don't tell the cat people.
So, what did you think from the controversy of everything? That's kind of a controversy in that cell. Like, they're showing the video as it's they're trying to sell jeans.
Okay.
American Eagle made overnight $180 million off that ad because of the word of mouth. And
Okay.
the stock rising, I think. Well, I don't know that for that's the exact money reasons, but it did make that much money overnight from the controversy and all the things that were happening.
Okay.
What is your take, A, and then B, what we grew up in the 90s
Yeah.
where this was an average Calvin Klein ad, had probably been in black and white.
Yeah.
They would have models and girls wearing products, and it was provocative, but that's what we got used to. And then things started changing about 10 years ago. Within the last 10 years, we started seeing different advertising for different people. They're trying to reach target audiences. Do you feel like there's any part of like this, the world that you're seeing here that draws something out of you?
The whole thing, everything that literally just encompasses the way I feel about everything anymore. So the little clips of those people calling for Nazism and whatever, like that looks like satire to me.
Like, you don't think it's even real?
No, that's the messed up part is that
Okay.
is real, but I feel like not Israel, that is real, but it feels like satire, and that's the world we're actually living in.
Yeah.
That people just come up with the most ridiculous things to be offended by.
Yeah.
They look to be offended by everything, and the reality is like they're not even offended at the part that actually should be offensive.
Which part should be offensive?
The part that should be offensive is the sexualization of it,
Right.
right? I mean, that's something that, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought twice about. Sydney
Right.
Sweeney's obviously a beautiful woman, and seeing her in, skimpy clothing at one time would have appealed to me.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, oh man, that's the messed up part is everything has to be sexualized. Everything has to be perverse
Well,
nowadays.
that's the controversy of it all to me, is because if we say, let's just say we're starting this as a YouTube channel, and I want people to click on the button. If I do a picture of Sydney Sweeney as the beginning of our content, will someone click on it faster than if we put a picture of Jesus on there?
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, obviously that's a button click for some people. Like, you'll see other things, other content. It's like something provocative, and it might not even be the entire video is about it. It could be a police officer arrests girl, and it shows one provocative scene. That's one click, and it's the entire video is not about that at all. But you clicked on it for the one thing.
Yep.
So it's the world chasing things with their eyes.
Well, like the old saying, sex sells,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what has gone so far over the top, which, I mean, there shouldn't even be a top. If people are following Jesus and are in the Word, you're not seeking that in life, right? And that's, I guess, the messed up part is we're so far gone that it just keeps going further and further and further. But to me, it was that's the, I don't even know if humorous is the right word. The funny part to me is that the actual anger in our society over this video has nothing to do with the actual real problem. Right. They're just made up stupid things for people to be upset about.
And we won't get into this video.
Okay.
But there's been backlash from it where there's all these sorority girls filming videos. They're not in jeans.
Okay.
But it's all these sorority girls doing like dance moves and stuff. It seems like that's our country's fighting through screens right now. Almost like your side's doing this, we're going to do that. And it's the people who are following different things. And like as a person following Christ, feel like you're not supposed to be in the battle, And like you shouldn't have a side to pick. And you're like, whichever side aligns more with my values, that's the side I want to be on. But am I finding my identity through my politics, or am I finding my identity through Christ?
Exactly. And a good amount of people are finding their identity in politics.
Right.
And then they're finding their identity in gender. And then they're finding their identity in whatever the control of the internet has over their minds.
Right.
And that's where we've gotten to, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it. Like, I'm trying to share content with you. And like the funny thing about me and Josh sitting down and watching videos, I'm kind of excited about this, is I'm always trying to show Josh stuff. And if it's over an hour, he's so busy. He's like, dude, I don't have time. I literally, so like showing him little clips of something is going to be great. Cause like if you get hooked on something, maybe you'll like a few of the things I've been trying to show you. Cause sometimes it's only 15 minutes of something I want you to watch.
Yeah.
Like it's worth the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But if I try and have you sit down for 2.5 hours, you're like, I don't have that time. But finding the content within like our algorithms, and like so we're starting to see the same things because we both are on YouTube.
Yeah.
So as we're seeing the same, I'll say, hey, have you seen this person or have you seen this video? And half the time you're like, I've seen this person or I've seen the video.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see our algorithms and what the internet's doing with us.
Yeah.
Meaning that if like you're watching the Sydney Sweeney thing and say I click on 10 videos of her, I guarantee you my algorithm's going to start going, oh, he likes this. Because it happens to me all the time. Like,
100%.
My kids borrow the phone.
Yeah.
And they'll start watching Roblox videos.
Yeah.
And then the next day, my phone's just...
Same exact thing.
This isn't my algorithm. It's interesting to see...
I had that happen yesterday. Yesterday, I literally clicked on... I don't even know why I clicked on it, but it was like a waterfall, and it's like $89,000 for 160 acres in California.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's this at? I watched the video and it was a beautiful property. Obviously, I'm not going to be buying a property up there, and it would be a nightmare. There's no road. Anyways, whole point of that is today when I opened up my YouTube, there's like 10 properties for sale, videos of properties, and it's like
it's getting worse.
I just wanted to click on something and watch it for a second. Like that doesn't mean this is now my interest and I want to be in here.
Amazon actually came out recently, and because you like say something around your Alexa, and you'd get something pop up somewhere on a device, like if you want a toothbrush, it's like here's this great toothbrush, or whatever you fill in the blank. Amazon, and I would love to reference this, but I don't have the reference. Basically just said they're not hiding it anymore. But they're trying to amplify it in a way that if you allow it, AI is going to start tailor making everything for you shopping wise, or whatever you say. It's going to start making your life as easy as possible. So it's kind of interesting. I know I'm tying this from a Sydney Sweeney thing, but it's all relative to me. Like the news you're getting fed. Like that's one thing I started seeing is if you check out of both sides of like politics and you want to just have conversations with people, you can even get in a fight just talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
Because he's aligned with a side that they're saying, well, you're Christian, you're on that side.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not picking a side. They're like, well, you're on the side whether you like it or not, because you don't agree with what I agree with.
So now I guess taking that back to the Sydney Sweeney video, because you brought in the AI and the algorithms and all of that, but looking at the Sydney Sweeney video and going back to the whole, these people are angry about this and, these people are angry, but no one's angry about the sexualization. But what do you think the purpose of, not the purpose, do you think people are being divided because it makes it easier and they're really just trying to give people what they want? Or do you think there's an ulterior motive?
What I personally think is there's an alternative motive.
Yeah.
I think that there's the political side say, who can we grab?
Yeah.
And so like when we were kids, Democrats stood for different things.
Yeah.
And they were the People's Party. They were the ones that stood for the little guy. And that's who they pocket their votes. And they go, okay, we got these guys, cool, they got my pocket. And the right would go, well, we want the big business. We got this. And things are changing in a way that I think we're in a state of flux right now where everything is realigning again. And it's, if you are no one likes to lose, but the side that's like, if the appearance of losing who got voted president, whoever, whatever, they're realigning again. So I could see us in 20 years, Lord willing, we'll see a completely flip of the Democratic Party could stand for what the Republican stands for right now, and the opposite will go in effect. It's just
I think they're using it for control.
That makes sense.
Because if you can keep people that brainwashed and that sucked into whatever that side is on, you have them. Yeah. And then if you can keep these people sucked into what this side says, you have them. Right. And they can make sure that things go back and forth.
Right.
They can make sure that there's control because there's not enough of this middle ground that could actually rise up. Right. Like the internet could have actually been used if people were smart. We could have used it to actually come up with a third party that got powerful. If people actually stood together and instead of letting these algorithms brainwash their daily activity, I think.
Your kids.
Because did you know in the history of the United States, a third party has never won the presidency?
Right.
There's got to be a reason for that, right?
100%. Yeah. Well, it's like the algorithms is like whatever, you got to figure out what your algorithm is. Like if ours is Christian, we're being fed Christian stuff, we're feeling pretty good about things. Yeah. Like, okay, I'm looking at it, but if it's your politics, I feel pretty good about this. But we were talking about this, I think off camera, we're talking about X and how Elon Musk made it an open platform where you can have free discussion, and it turned it into a craziness.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have people who don't agree.
It's a cesspool in there. Like that's what I was using for a little while. Like how I said, I don't use social media. I was using X for a little while, and I started off trying to like write good, wholesome, nice comments, trying to like support people or trying to, glorify God through the comments or things like that. And I'm not kidding. It's like 10 just horrible, evil comments for every like one person who says hallelujah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And then you have to, I always stayed off the comments for a long time. I just recently paid attention the last like 2 years.
Mhm.
And I've always heard the chat bots and these, it's AI writing responses, and I was always like, okay. And then I'm starting to see it.
Yeah.
And if we're going to make a channel, we're going to definitely like address things. Do we remove comments we don't agree with? Do we, if someone has a different opinion of this, like we'll have to figure that out as we go. But like, I don't want to be the kind of people who don't want to listen to other people. But if your algorithm is not producing fruit, I guess for a religious purpose,
Yeah.
you're getting sucked into a certain direction. Like you're not going to know any better either.
Yeah.
Like I talk to people I know about politics or things I see in the world happening, and you're like, hey, do you know about X, Y, or Z? And they'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, my wife's a teacher. I'll ask her, did you see this stuff happening in the world today? Because there's craziness stuff happening almost every day now.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll ask her questions. She'll be like, no. And like major events.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, did you guys did they make an announcement at school? There's nothing anymore. The world's just a different place, I guess. But even things that I thought would be worth mentioning, you can talk about the earthquakes that just happened. I'll talk to someone. You see the earthquakes? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, the news is all controlled.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. We've gotten so far onto like almost a political discussion, right? Which that is not the intention. We don't want that really in the show.
100%.
A little, I mean, here and there, but
the reason I was getting to this video too was to show you the next clip I have, which is from a podcast called Confessional.
Okay.
And if I'll include it in the comments if anyone wants to watch the video. It's a little clip about this gentleman who has been fighting kids who are being smuggled.
Okay.
And sexualized, and how porn has a bigger feed on things. And I was bringing it up because of the Sydney Sweeney thing is my tie into it, because she's obviously there to sex sells.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking other conversations got more political, bringing it back to where I was talking about sex. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the Sydney Sweeney thing?
No. Okay.
All over the world that are practicing the same sex magic and summoning different entities. Like, how do you view it? Because for me, it's like, and one side of me feels like there's this like satanic network all over the world, which clearly there is. And the other part of me is wondering, is this one, like the Prince of Persia has a territory, right? So is there a principality that this is its territory, the pornography industry, and it is global? And that's why you see so much similarities all over the world.
Well, it's mutually beneficial throughout the world for every demonic cause. I think that how I see that is like Pornhub. They have a secret board. Yeah, their board is secret. They don't publicize who their board is. And then the original guy, and then there's another guy too that founded it. Somebody else, and then its main headquarters is in Canada, but it also has a headquarters in Dallas Fort Worth, and it's got one in Houston, it's got one in California, yada yada yada. Make no mistake about it, because they're having videos uploaded to them at such a rate that you cannot imagine. They're not producing that. There are people all over the world that are just uploading these videos. And I heard recently that if you took 1 year of videos and you sit down and watch them hour to hour to hour of free uploads, it would take 167 years to watch those videos that are uploaded on the Pornhub in 1 year. That's 167 years of nonstop pornography. Okay. So there's the groomed world that has been brainwashed and groomed into this kind of sexuality, and then into the uploading of these things and participating in that. But way above that was a whole nother plan that says we need these people to be a part of that. We need people exposed to this, because there's a rule, and the rule is found in the book of Romans. Not only those who do such things shall be judged, but those who are entertained by it. There's a rule in the spiritual realm that says this. I can go to jail if I've never molested a child, or if I've never abused a woman sexually or whatever. But if you're entertained by it, the demonic realm has the same access to you that they do to the same perpetrator. So if I am sitting, and if I'm like, okay, I'm a dude, it's part of my sexuality, and This is who I am. That, hey, nobody's around. And you know what? I don't even want to look at men. I would like to just watch lesbian pornography. Let me tell you what you do. You open up a portal for same sex into your entire house. See, it's not the actions of the fathers that are passed down to the children. It's the iniquity of the fathers that are passed down to the children. So if you watch pornography, you open up your entire house to a same-sex spirit. And like, how is it? I raised my kids in church, and now they're struggling with homosexuality. And they don't know because you opened a portal. You were groomed. You started off, you were just gonna watch something, whatever it was, and then they took you down a track, and you thought it was you being really cool and being really smart, but they knew exactly how to take you down that track until finally, if you stay into it long enough, you will start lusting after children. It's designed to bring you to a place that by the time that you are looking at children and by the time that you're looking at babies, you also know how to find them. So it also teaches you how to surf the dark web and how to get darker and darker and darker. The whole thing is set up, and it's a recruiting place for these demonic forces. It's wild. That's wild.
So, with the human trafficking, the porn industry obviously is strongly tied to it.
Yes.
And I think what we're hitting right now is how deep the spiritual aspect of this is globally. It's kind of blowing my mind. And I remember hearing you talk about this in different ways. But like the cartel is deeply involved in this. We often think about the cartel being involved in just, the literal trafficking of people from one place to another. They're bad guys, whatever. But they're intimately involved in this side of the industry as well.
10,000%. For their protection, for their own prosperity.
You mean protection? You mean like because they're what they're selling to
more
elites?
What they'll do is right. So, for their protection, meaning supernatural protection. So, they kill so many kids, they go through so many rituals, they sell so many children, they do so many things, and then they power up, and they really and truly believe that they're being supernaturally protected.
Okay, so how deep is this satanic agenda when it comes to everything we're discussing? It's in the cartel. It's in these witches that you run into. Like this seems to be in corners of the earth that we just kind of overlook and don't even consider.
It's inseparable. It's totally inseparable. You can't. You can't. You need to understand. They are literally grooming the world to be recruited by them, to sign up with them. And they're doing it through everybody's sexuality, through the access to pornography. Not only that, but they are also funding all the trafficking of the world through pornography. It's highly monetized. For every second that you spend watching images or watching video on any pornographic channel, for every second, somebody is getting a ka-ching. Somebody is getting paid for that. And so they're like, well, man, I never bought anything. I've never done anything. Dude, you funded the crime scene. You have literally participated in some way the murder of a child that was murdered sexually for somebody else's pleasure.
I think this is the Sydney Sweeney thing.
Yeah.
It's for every person that sees the Sydney Sweeney ad that got mad.
Yeah.
There's somebody who sees that commercial, and whether they know it or not, they're like, ooh, that puts thought in their mind.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they're by themselves, and they're like, I'm going to walk over to my computer and look up that kind of a girl. And
see what he just talked about that's so interesting to me. So you mentioned at the beginning of the video that like when we knew each other in the Marines, and you asked me about my faith, and I was a believer, and I was a believer my whole life. I was never a Christian. I would never, I was not born again. I was not into anything. I was not reading the Bible. And the one thing I did not know about my whole life that kind of tied all of this together in the last few years is I didn't know about the devil and demonic forces and power. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I think truly needs to get out there, because I did not like this world.
Yeah.
I did not like the way things were going for the longest time. Like, I always knew that. God always put that in me to, like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at porn. Like, this isn't good. Every show is getting more and more perverse. Like, every person's mouth is getting dirtier. Like, literally, people that, 15 years ago that would curse every once in a while, now when you talk to them, it's like every other word coming out of their mouth is a
Right.
bad word. And it just keeps spiraling further. And I did not like it. I knew the world was headed in that direction. I could see it, and I didn't like it.
Right.
But I did not understand how much of that,
The normalization of it.
the normalization of all of it, but I
Yeah.
didn't understand that that was the devil.
Right.
And so, talking about the Sydney Sweeney and how we talked about the politics and the
Yeah.
control, I didn't know I was into the politics side of it because I didn't know it was the devil controlling things.
Right.
I didn't know that the devil had control of the world.
And I think the video what that man says in the video right now, basically when he says you watch that video, you're contributing to something in a one way or fashion.
Yeah.
And it's like going to church and the sermon being about tithing.
Yeah.
And if you're not tithing, that sermon's gonna be a long one because
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, like he's talking about porn right now, and I don't watch porn.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm kind of like, phew. But I have done it.
Yep.
I'm not completely innocent of it, so it's one of those things where you're it's a tough pill to
The
swallow.
gateways you're opening.
Right.
And not understanding. And so that's what I think needs to get out to people, and people who know, like, maybe they're barely Christians, they're
Yeah.
lukewarm Christians, they're people who are interested in God but aren't there yet. It's the devil has control over the world, and he has so much control. He has, it's called fallen, and we have fallen further and further and further to the point of where we are at right now.
Right.
And we're at a pretty important time in history. There's all this talk of the rapture. There's all this talk of this being the end, and maybe it is,
But there's revival happening too.
but there's a revival
There's
happening.
revival happening at the same time. It's kind of neat to see what God's doing to people, because like even just us like doing this right now, this is not.
Yeah,
If you had said 5 years ago we'd be doing this, I would laugh.
I know. And that's what my point, I guess, going back to the whole, the devil part of it, is that's what actually hooked me.
Yeah.
Learning more about that for, the longest time. I just thought, yeah, I believe in God. I believe Jesus was the Son of God and he died for our sins, and that makes me a Christian. I should be good, right?
Yeah, I was sharing that personal thing with you the other day, and I said that was a God moment for me, and you're like, I think the devil had his hand on that too. And I was like, dang it. Right? Like it's always like you don't ever consider that the devil might be trying to do something to you too.
Exactly.
And it's going to be like something that it's not even something you see as being negative. It could be sexual.
Yep.
It could be anything. Like you're on the brink of doing something that could be positive in your life, and the devil knows if you do that, he might lose his grip on you. He's going to tempt you with something, or it's just
Yeah.
you don't see in that lens. You're like,
He's in people's ears. He's in their heads all the time. I
'Cause-
mean,
I'm telling the people that are watching, like there's something in your life if you're not following God. It could be the porn that we're talking about. It could be pills. It could be alcohol. And these aren't things that I'm like sitting there preaching that I've never done anything in my life and I'm squeaky clean. We were both Marines, so use your imagination. We've seen some stuff. But that being said, there's something in your life that's got a hold of you, and you know that it's not helping you. And like that's like I really want to do this video to find those people who just feel like life's passed you by. You know that you're in a dark place, and like you this is the video. This is the video that hopefully this one, or if we make another one, these are the videos that are going to come and reach you in a way that you're going to want to hear us talk about it again. And then maybe one day you'll watch The Chosen because you watched this video, and you're going to say, I see what they're saying. And like it takes a little bit of time. You know, God's not asking you to come squeaky clean. He's not saying you have to be perfect. That's the beautiful part about being a Christian, is you start to realize just come as you are, and He'll take you.
I'm broken.
We're still broke. We're still broken. He's not looking for perfect.
And just know that if you are seeking an answer, if you are seeking a way, it's not found in the day-to-day activities. It's not found in yoga. It's not found in your meditation classes or your breathing classes. It's not found in taking mushrooms. It's not found in taking another pill. It is literally found only in God. It is found through belief in Jesus Christ. And anyone can come to Him at any time. No matter, like Steve said, it doesn't matter where you're at in life, what you're feeling how broken you feel, how hurt you feel, he loves you. And he wants nothing more than to wrap his arms around you and show you that and help you and save you and heal you and raise you up. I think that's, for me, I think a good place to end. That was a great video, but I mean, that was just insane. 60 years, he said, in 1 year.
167 years to watch for 1 year worth of all the downloaded content. It would take 167 years
to
get through it.
That is so sad. That's so sad. Like how much of it is forced, but how many people, how many women, how many men are willingly filming these videos?
That's the kicker too. Is it's not just guy. It used to be a guy thing.
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm sure some girls did it, but it's now. It seems very
watching it, but also making it.
Yeah, fans like
signing up for OnlyFans. Like, how much does money matter to you?
There was that
money cannot give you anything.
That was that girl that just, and I don't remember the dollar. It might have been $3 million, I think. She's a 17-year-old that's been posting that she's gonna do OnlyFans when she turns 18. The day she turned 18, she did OnlyFans. She made like $3 million in one day. She broke a record.
Great.
No, I'm not glorifying it.
No, I know. I'm
but every girl that's pretty, that's 16 or 17, is gonna be like, well, I could set myself up for life.
The devil has taken control of everything. The internet was like the ultimate tool for the devil to get control of this world. And he has just used it to constantly dig into each and every single person. And it's sad to see. It's sad to know this many girls are willingly selling their bodies. You know, not physically, they're not prostituting, but they're physically selling their bodies on camera for money. Yeah. What's that money going to buy them?
It's a whole bunch of stuff that's going to lead you nowhere.
Exactly. A whole bunch of things that don't leave here.
It's easy. Like, we'll have to do a follow-up video about this. Josh has had a really successful life. I've had a really successful life. Different measures of success for different people. The things that we find glory in now and what satisfaction we have now can't be bought. And so it's something that we've learned, and it didn't come overnight, but we definitely have testimonies to share. Things as you get to know us, you'll see we come from different opinions too. We can watch the same thing. Like as an example, I like watching Joe Rogan and Sean Ryan, and I'll mention it to him. He's like, "No, thank you." You know, he sometimes he's not as polite, but you know, he's like, please, I don't want to watch that, so don't send it my way. And I'm like, it's only 3 hours, and you're like, no, wait,
I don't want to watch it for 10 minutes.
But we're gonna end the video now. We're gonna pray for everybody that's watching this. Pray for us not watching it. We'll pray over you. We'll pray over this video.